Welcome to Season 3 of The Breakdown, the official podcast of the Breakaway Roping Journal and calfroping.com. This season, we're diving into both the breakaway and calf roping like never before, bringing you the personalities, successes, and horses that make these events great.
You can expect training tips from the top ropers, stories from the road, and industry news that goes beyond the numbers.
I'm Taylor Vollen, your calf roping host.
And I'm Lillian Kent, your breakaway host.
And this is The Breakdown.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Breakaway Breakdown. I hope you've been enjoying our NFR calf roping coverage with my co-host Taylor Vollen and coworker Hannah Wheeler. They've been over there doing the round winners every night, but today is about the breakaway ropers. I have a really special episode for you with Hali Williams, the Kimes Million Dollar Breakaway high money earner. Hali won $115,000. Also, the WPRA Reserve World Champion, Martha Angelone. Martha earned $60,000 at the Kimes Million Dollar Breakaway, and then she went on to wrap up about $30,000 at the NFBR and win a handful of jackpots out here in Vegas that she says brought her to about $180,000 out here in Las Vegas. So really fantastic set of interviews coming at you. The first interview with Hali, it is right after her win. The emotions are high. We are so excited. And then we move to our interview with Martha, and both of us are tired. She is sick, and I have been in Vegas for 2 weeks at this point. So we are just bringing you the full range of emotions that come with the great sport of breakaway. Before we jump in, I do need to give a shout out to our supporter of today's episode, Purina. Now, if you haven't heard about this, Purina has a feed finder program. It's basically like a quiz. It helps you find the perfect feed for your horse using an online system. Super easy. Just put in your horse's information and they will tell you what Purina feed is best for your horse. I'll tell you a little bit more about them at the break, but for now, it's time to rope. Let's go. High money winner.
Yes.
Were you coming into this to win it?
I wanted to be the high money earner. I didn't think I was going to go through the average to get it. I thought I would have won more rounds, but it ended up, I drew good calves, and red light made it easy just to catch. I was a little trigger happy on 2 calves and shouldn't have broken the barrier, but ended up working out, and I get to go home with a good check to pay some bills.
Yeah, so tell me about what your mental game has been like over the last 6 months, because I feel like this has really been a huge boost for you.
Definitely. I feel like the last 6 months I've had to learn how to give up control and kind of just trust the process. Last year I tried to control a lot of things that were out of my control, and I tried to make it work for try to do all the work for everybody else, and that doesn't work. You kind of just have to stay in your lane, do your job, and let the cards fall where they fall. I'm so very thankful for Kimes, for the Kimes family for putting this money in, Chris Noel Productions for making it such a cool show out and letting all the youngsters rope, and even having the open guys, like, it's really cool, having all of us on the same stage, and we're getting to rope for a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It's very exciting. I hope to be here next year again, and it's just so exciting getting to run for calf for $25,000 every round, 10 rounds.
I know.
That's something our dreams are made out of, and I think it's only going to get bigger from here.
Awesome. Tell me about any special interactions you had with the crowd or a youth, or even just right here with
this crowd is amazing. Today it was a packed house. Zach Top's playing tonight. It's going to be an awesome night. The crowd was energetic. There's very few perfs that you go to that they're truly cheering. Sometimes they're not paying attention to what's going on, and that whole crowd was engaged in what was happening. They knew who was winning. So that was kind of a once in a lifetime, I feel like, or for the first time in our life. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be the first time or the only time. Yeah. I definitely think we're going to have it again, and I'm so excited to. I kind of am ready to get back again. I know.
I didn't want it to be over.
I love that I was a high money earner, but I'm okay, can I run another calf for that money, please? So it's just unreal. Thank you to everybody who put this on. Thanks to everybody that bought tickets and watched it on the live stream. You guys mean more than we can tell you.
Yeah. Okay, tell me how Red Light felt. Was he really amped up? Was he in your hand, ready to go?
Red Light was a beast the first day. He was I couldn't have asked for anything better. We were a little strong last night on the last calf. He just it wasn't like it was really bad. It was just a little duller than I wanted. So we went home, or we went to Dean Tufton's house and practiced this morning. Melvin helped me, and I can't explain. Melvin actually ended up helping me. He warmed up red light for me while I was tying ropes off, and actually I tied the rope that I roped with all tonight. I have a whole crew, the whole DT horses was out here helping me, and so thankful. Extra shout out to Melvin for loping red light down for me today.
Okay, and so you said he's a little strong last night. What do you feel like tonight?
Felt amazing. But I went home and I just kind of had, we went back to Dean's and we roped, and he felt like he was engaged. I just feel like I let him get in there, and let him hear all the noise, and I think he was reading my body. I think I was a little too tight, so I had to just kind of stay in the mindset of calm, cool, collected, and go make the best runs I can. My 1.9 was the easiest run I had all day, or in this whole last 3 days, so it's just kind of crazy how fast that horse can make my runs when it just feels easy.
Okay, so I want you to pick out your most memorable run and walk me through it.
I feel like the most memorable run was my 201, 203
Okay.
that I won the round with.
Okay.
Just because I had missed in the third round in the semifinals, I had missed the calf that went right, and that was the second run out in the big show, and I knew we went right hard, and only thing going through my mind was make sure I had the loop ready for a right calf, and that's kind of been my weakness since I got hurt, is when they go right, I lose my balance, and it just kind of throws everything off, and that was the first time in probably a year, or a little over a year, that I felt confident roping, and this is kind of the first show that you guys get to see me not hurting completely, so I'm so excited for that.
I'm so excited, like I'm literally have chills right now because I'm just so excited for you that like it's coming together.
It's finally coming together, and I'm getting to show a little bit of what I've been working on. We are still working on my range. I've got a lot of horses in the background that you guys don't see that help me make runs every day, and we're only going to go up. We get to leave early in the morning, head to South Point, check in for the NFR, and get ready to run those calves through the back number ceremony. So it's kind of just cool. It definitely helps.
Some good momentum.
Oh, great momentum. I'm so excited, to cheer on who wins the world title there. We were rooting for everybody.
Yeah. Okay, one more thing. I saw you had a rubber band on your wrist. Tell me about that.
So I put rubber bands on both of my sleeves because I don't like when I can't feel my rope when I go to throw. So I like to have contact, so if my wrist comes in contact with my rope before my hand does, and so I'll let my rope go. If I can't feel where the rope's at, I'll hold on to it and I won't catch as many. So
but you can feel it in your hand.
Yeah, but when you throw, you want to be able to feel it gliding, and you can't do that with the sleeves. So I started doing it when I was team roping all the time. It didn't matter if you were in a short sleeve or a long sleeve, it didn't have to be buttoned down. So I grew up roping with no sleeves, and then I went to a breakaway rope, everything's full dress code. And so I had to learn how to rope, and so this was kind of my own version. I'm actually in the process of making a shirt, or Boot Barn's in the making of releasing a shirt that stretches up so I don't have to rubber band it. So I'm really excited for them to release that.
Really cool.
It's amazing. There's so many opportunities. There's so many things in the works right now that you guys have yet to see.
I'm so excited. Okay.
We're going to take a quick break from today's episode to tell you about our sponsor, Purina. Confidently address your horse's unique weight needs and help optimize their overall well-being with research-proven Purina animal nutrition feeds, designed by passionate equine nutritionists. Partner with Purina to nourish your horse to their optimal body condition. Explore weight management resources for your horse today at purinamills.com/feed-finder. Special thanks again to Purina for supporting today's episode of The Breakdown. Well, hello, Martha. Thank you for joining me from your couch as we all kind of recover from the madness that was the last month or so.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, before we jumped on, we were kind of talking about just how much has happened in these last few weeks. We had the Kimes, we had the NFBR, and then you Breakaway girls had a slew of jackpots going on in Vegas, and I kind of turned my attention to the NFR for just a short time, but there's been a lot going on, and I think it was possible for some people to miss some pretty cool things in there.
Yes, man. There was a lot going on for us in Vegas, and that's what's cool about. Even though we don't get to rope in the Thomas and Mack and stuff, we do get to rope at a lot of money every single day for us girls out there, and you can definitely make a living outside of it. And I actually won more money at the jackpots out there than I did at the finals.
Yeah, yeah. I remember keep seeing your posts pop up on Facebook. I was like, oh, she's crushing it over there. And then the next day, oh, she's crushing it over there. It's really nice that you guys can kind of stay busy. And you were talking about the signings too that you were doing out there. And I know that a lot of people appreciate getting to meet you and
Yes,
stuff.
ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. It's a fun. I don't know how long I was out there. I guess I was out there 11 days in Vegas, and then we were at the Kimes Ranch deal before that. So it's been a minute since I've been home. So I'm enjoying being at home and not around the chaos.
Yes, it is quite loud and bright, and a lot of people out here are definitely like enjoying themselves. This is
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
their Christmas. So
Yes, ma'am. That's for sure.
so as you mentioned, we kind of kicked off with the Kimes Ranch deal, and you wrapped up how much money there?
I won 65,000 at the Kimes deal, and I honestly did not rope very great at the Kimes deal. I was trying to go for first every single time since they gave us the chance at that kind of money. And when it worked, and I won a bunch of money. But when it didn't, it dang sure didn't.
Yeah, and you rode Jesse James out there, right?
I rode Legend and Jesse. A lot of people think Legend's hurt right now, but there's nothing wrong with him. I just had better timing on Jesse right now, so I stuck on Jesse the whole time.
Okay, okay. How about that Kimes deal? It was a pretty neat event.
Yeah, that was a life-changing event. I'm blessed that they're gonna let us do it again next year and everything, and I hope to be in the top 10, or I hope to be there. That is something that's well, it's not just a once in a lifetime deal since you can qualify a couple times for it, but to us, when you get there and get to compete for that kind of money, it's a once in a lifetime roping. It's cool going against 25 girls for $25,000 a round. Nothing can replace that. It's honestly better than our finals. It made us, whenever we want to go around at the finals, I mean, we were still proud and happy for winning a go around at the finals, but it's nothing compared to winning 25,000 at the Kimes deal for a go around.
Mhm. Um, and I remember I caught you one evening and you weren't happy with how you'd roped, and I was like, "Well, you still picked up 20 in a for a second and go round," and you were like, "Well, it's not good enough," which was very much a Martha answer, but um yeah, like you'd been saying, you couldn't even if you didn't rope your best, you could still end up with a huge paycheck. Move into the NFBR, you guys come up here, break the calves in on Monday, rope on Tuesday. I'm always struck by how fast those 5 rounds go by. It is really a fast and furious event.
Yes, ma'am. That doesn't give you much time to think about much, and I was blessed that I had some great help out there. I had Sarah with me and Amanda Coleman, and Amanda Coleman's boyfriend, Trace Price, was out there too. And I had Trace videoing all the runs of the first 3 rounds every day. So whenever it came the time for the redraws in the fourth and fifth round, or the ninth and 10th round, I could just look on the iPad and know what exactly who had the calf last, or had it the last 2 times, and all that kind of stuff. That way, I didn't have to worry about asking girls for videos and everything, because it's so hard that it goes so fast that half of us, we have our phones on them, but we don't get to look at our runs or our videos or anything, no less give them to somebody else before the end of the day. It's it it's an experience, I will say that. I would wish that we took a little bit longer, because we work all year, every year, to get to that finals, and it's like 5 rounds of it's over in 2 hours. Like, the guys get to enjoy 1 round a night and go in fresh every single day for it, and we jam pack 5 of our rounds into one day and have 2 days of competition, and it's kinda a lot.
Yeah, it's very intense. And I'd imagine you're trying to make those split decisions on your calf, should you change something up on your horse? Should you change something up on your roping? It's a lot of decisions to make in what you're roping every 15 minutes or so.
Yes. And I kind of went, which I rode Jesse most of the time, but like I was kind of going back and forth on what horses to ride out there as well because the setup with how the calves were and how the start was, it's so fast. And I knew I had to go at the go rounds to have a chance at winning the world. So it's a whole lot easier for me to be tapped off on Jesse and try to be one on Jesse every time. Legend's kind of more of a freer horse, and you got to go one more on him, which he still locks it off and breaks it off fast. Don't get me wrong. But whenever it comes time where you got to go be 1-8, 1-9 in the go rounds, that's the time where Jesse shines. And I did ride Legend on one of my calves that I did not like whatsoever. And he kind of stepped to the left. And I honestly wish the second day I would have rode him on one of those calves as well. But I was so tapped off on Jesse that I made the mistake and I stayed on him. And I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. I just would have I would have had a better outcome if I would have got on Legend.
Okay. I know that you were gunning for the world championship, but I'm sure seeing Kelsey come away with it was still pretty satisfying.
Yes, I'm so proud of Kelsey. She has roped her butt off all year. She's one of my good friends, and I am so happy for her. She's roped her butt off the last 2 weeks. She won the two biggest averages you can win during the year within 2 weeks, and that says something. She is such an athlete and she's such a with a rope. When I first came out to college, she was always one that I looked up to, and I still look up to her. So I was so happy for her and so proud of her. Even though I wanted my second world title myself, I gave it myself a shot, the best shot I could at it. I just needed to catch one more calf so I could be up in the average a little bit more to get it done.
I just pulled it up. You won $32,906 at the NFBR. And then a few days later, you went over to the Masters and had to go win at least 40 grand on us.
Yes, at the Masters, I won $43,440.
Okay, that's really awesome. Now, for somebody who hasn't kind of dug into the Vegas jackpot scene, talk to me a little bit about how these are set up and kind of how you can go about looking for these and getting involved.
Most of them you can usually find on Facebook. Chris Neal's Productions always has at least 3 jackpots for the girls to rope in. The Masters is one that they have every single year. Which the setup at the Masters changed a little bit this year. That was always a roping that I could ride Legend at, and I really didn't even need to bring Legend to Vegas this year because the when I got to the Masters last year, it was a roping like my first one on Legend. I was 303 on and stuff, and it was like the calves were hauling butt. The start was kind of out there, and this year it was a fast start, and the calves were just good. So I ended up not riding him. I rode Chick in the pre-roping, then I rode Jesse James in the main roping that paid so much, and that's always a good jackpot. It's kind of one that you just need to get out of the barrier and then go catch. And then the all in is one that's at the end of the time in Vegas every single year, and they have 3 nights of it. The first round is the first night, the second round is the second night, and then you got to qualify back for the showdown round. And how you do that is placing in the first round or the second round in any of the D's. And it's kind of roping a lot of people are unsure about because of the D's, but honestly, it's one of the ropings I enjoy because I can go get paid for being 3 flat. I can go get paid for being 2-6. It's just how much control you have over your run to know where the D's are laying at that point. Like, of course, you want to try to be as fast as you possibly can and win the roping, but there's also a lot of money to be won in the second D and the third D too. And I think that's where this year I did so much better at roping because I made my runs have so much more control and was trying to swing over a couple of and just do what's good for my horse too, like I was at home in the practice pen and not just try to be one every single time.
And so 60 at Kimes, 30 at NFBR, 45 at Masters, and how much it all in? 30?
Yeah, I won 182,000 total since I left for the Kimes.
Okay, it's a pretty good salary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well I know you worked hard for it and now you're trying to relax a little bit at home. Going back to the Masters, can you talk to me a little bit about the setup there and kind of how everything came together?
At the Masters, the start was 4 under this year, but it's an electric eye start, so you gotta give them a little bit more than what you normally would have to. The calves were kinda softer. There was about 5 or 6 calves in there that really did haul butt, but after you got a list on them, it was pretty easy to know what your calf was about to be. You had to give them about ear coming by the gate, and I just was trying to make solid average runs over there. Like I think I was 303 on my first one and 29 on my second one, and then I blasted my short round run and I was 224. I think I might be wrong on that, but
Mm.
I rode Jesse in the main roping, and I placed fifth in the average in the free roping on Chick, and I was just making good runs on her. I was 248 and I think 27, and I won fifth in the pre roping on her as well.
There you go. So, sounds like Jesse and Chick got a lot of the calls, but it was probably good to have Legend as a backup or as a buddy horse for whoever you were taking out of the stall.
Yes, ma'am. He honestly, which if you would have told me I was going to ride Jesse on all my runs at the finals other than one, I would tell you you're crazy. I was honestly going to start on Legend, but whenever we got out there and seen how the calves were when we were breaking them in and stuff, I just knew that Jesse, how fast the rounds were going to get and stuff. Jesse was going to be the one that got the call this year, and I mean, he was lights out for me the past 3 weeks. He hasn't made a mistake for me or anything. And I won the all in on Chick. Like the last round, I split first in the 1D on Chick there, and then I placed on Chick 3 times in the showdown round. I placed on Jesse twice in the showdown round. I broke out on one in the showdown round, which is if you break out at the all in, it's a no time. It's kind of like a scoring and catching game over there. But like I said, I've had so many people come up to me and ask me what's wrong with Legend and all this stuff, and I'm kind of like, nothing's wrong with him. I just have two other horses that, I mean, one horse, I wouldn't say any of them are as good as that horse, but there's a lot of other horses that I have that I can win money on that were better for those setups. So I chose them over Legend. But no, Legend is not hurt. There's nothing wrong with him. He is just as fat and happy as he was before the finals.
So, rode Jesse a lot. Legend got a little bit of a vacation, I guess. Let's talk
Yes.
about looking forward. We got the winter rodeos coming up so quick. What are some of your hopes for the 2025 season?
Um, when my first rodeo is gonna be Odessa at in January. We kind of have to go about the rodeos different this year because our rodeo count is 80. I'm still I'm still kind of confused on what circuit I want to be in. I have to decide by Monday because that's when the books for Odessa close. But I hope that I have a better winter than I did last year and stuff because I came out of the winter rodeos last year with not very much won. Because I'm not planning on going to California and stuff this year like I normally do because the Americans during California, San Angelo's during California, there's a bunch of good stuff in Texas. I would have to fly back. That's going to be too much of a hassle to go to all the California rodeos this year. So I'm planning my rodeoing. I'm going to go to as many as I possibly can go to again, but my strategy is going to be just a little bit different this year just because of a lot of the opportunities we have right here as well. There's too much money to be won at the American and San Angelo and stuff to be worried about having to go back to one of the California rodeos for us just to run one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm
So,
trying to remember if San Angelo, money wise, fits into the Texas circuit. I'm not.
yes, it is a Texas circuit rodeo.
Okay. Okay. That's a big one. And
Yes.
I know that Kelsey won San Angelo this past year and they paid a lot. She came out of there with like $11,000. So I mean you can definitely make it worth your while in Angelo. And um I remember you were saying you rode Legend at a lot of the Texas rodeos last year and you were wishing you'd rode Jesse James. Do you think you're gonna make that switch this year?
It'll just depend on what we're roping. I mean, I always bring both of them to every single one of them. It'll just depend. A lot of the winter rodeos, I'll probably be on Jesse. I'll for sure be on Legend at Houston and stuff. I mean, how it is there and how the calves are there, they usually get pretty tricky, and it's hard not to be on a horse that's so honest and usually freer for me, and it's hard to beat Legend at that one. But with at or not San Angelo, but San Antonio and Fort Worth and stuff, I've won a ton on Jesse at Fort Worth. Not technically just in the rodeo, but like in the shootout stuff there and everything. And I'll probably ride him at Fort Worth, but that's also a month and a half away. I'm not honestly trying to say what horse I'm gonna ride then,
Right.
because I don't wanna jinx anything, and I don't want anything to happen to any of them too. But I have a lot of rodeos before then, like the San Diego rodeo and stuff like that as well.
Oh, right. That's the second year they're doing that.
Yes.
Definitely staying busy going for world championship number 2
Yes, ma'am.
and get inside the top 10 for the Kimes. So
Yes, ma'am.
lots of opportunities and I'm excited to see Breakaway continue to go up on the trajectory that we both think it should be.
Yes, ma'am. And it's gonna keep getting bigger and better. If it's not just at our NFR, all the ropings and stuff, and the women's finals, the Kid Rock Rodeo, the Corpus. We have a bunch of good stuff coming up in the spring, winter months right here that pay a lot for us. There's a lot of good ropings, even like the 3-Star Memorial. There's a memorial roping in Bryan, Texas that always adds 5,000. There's a bunch of good ropings right here that we get to roping and stuff for a lot of money and everything. So even though we're gonna not be able to go to as many rodeos this year, I know I'm dang sure gonna make it up on going to a bunch of jackpots and stuff.
Mhm. Mhm. Awesome. Well, I super appreciate your time this morning. I hope you can kind of go try to recuperate after all the Vegas festivities, and I will catch you when you cash in at a winter rodeo, which won't be very long, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Okay. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It has been an amazing year of breakaway roping and covering the breakaway roping. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys' listens and support, and we really appreciate everyone tuning in to hear a little bit about the behind the scenes that goes into some of the biggest wins in our industry. Special thanks again to Purina for supporting today's episode, and remember, you can check out their Feed Finder program on their website. It's pretty neat. All right, guys, until next time, this is Lillian with the Breakaway Breakdown.